Welcome to Phobros. Welcome to Phobros, a Kill Team podcast presented by Florida United Kill Team and North Florida Kill Team. How we doing tonight? It is a Cam and George episode, it's looking like at the moment. Welcome to the Phobros Podcast. This is episode 17, first episode, first live since we dropped the tier list that we made earlier this week. Of course, my name is Cameron. All my accounts are under Scorpius if you want to find me on the interweb. And I'm joined by my good buddy, George, the boy George.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm George over at the Six Sided Paradise Studio, and I'm very grateful to be here with my homie Cameron. We're missing on Eric today. We kind of lost him after Valentine's Day. Uh, you know, love is a battlefield, they say, Cameron, and looks like Eric is out there fighting for his life.
Yeah, actually, I mean, who knows? He, as of like 2 hours ago, he was in a Discord call with me and a few other human beings, and he said he was going to be here. So we're not really quite sure of his whereabouts. We know he's fine. He does this. He's like a stray cat, where he does do this. So maybe
Like an
he'll
outdoor
join.
cat.
He can actually join the call at any time. So at any moment, he could
He
just
might get surprise attack.
yeah, he could come in here
But
like the Kool-Aid Man and Family Guy. I haven't seen that. That's so freaking.
I hope he does. I hope he's watching this and he does. We peer pressure him into it.
What does the Kool-Aid Man say when he bursts through the wall in Family Guy?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. Looks like we got Dylan here in the chat. He left.
What's up, Dylan?
Yeah, what up, Dylan? He left us a comment. He's first. I guess he's saying he's the first commenter, which is true. Dylan, I got to give him a little shout out. He's totally crushing it in our local league here. Dylan's one of our local North Florida residents, one of our better North Florida players in terms of competition. And I think he's first in the league right now. He'll be going into the finals in the next round.
Let's go, Dylan.
Yeah, he's playing Wolf Scouts. He's crushing it. So that's always cool. We got a lot of great guys playing in this league. We got Preston playing Death Watch. We got John. I think John's rocking the stealth suits and doing pretty well, which is great.
Oh, cool.
Not Dylan. I was going to say Eric was in the league, but he obviously moved, so he's moved along. And then I'm in it, but I kind of like. Eric and I were matched. I kind of partially dropped. I'm still there, but I'm kind of taking the bye round right now. So.
Okay, are you playing Scouts?
So I started the league playing Wolf Scouts, and then I got so hyped on regular Scouts that I switched, and then
Yeah, you're playing regular Scouts.
play regular
Yeah.
Scouts. I might make one more game. I'm gonna end up having played 2 of 4 games, but honestly, I set up the league. For me to like compete highly in it is kind of silly. I think it's more for the locals to have something to do and meet with. I play a ton of Kill Team anyway, so
Yeah.
but yeah, great stuff, guys. Great stuff. Good start here. I want to talk a little bit, George. Tonight we have one big menu item, which is we're going to talk about the new Shadowhunt map, which is I'm calling it the Over Under map. It is the half Focus, half Tomb World conglomeration that's been put out, and I played it, and we're going to talk about it. But before we do that, I think we should talk a little bit about the reaction to the tier list that we posted earlier this week, because it's pretty good. It's not exactly yeah. You were talking about before. So what do you think about that reaction?
I think we had a few comments on our Spotify post, and I don't know if we got comments on the IG post, but I do know. Actually, yeah, we did get comments on the IG post.
Okay, we got a lot.
There were a few people that were bothered by their teams being in the bottom.
Yeah.
We got called a few names, but I think it's phenomenal. I love it. Thank you guys for the comments. Please go in there and trash us some more. We don't know what we're doing. We're just having fun making a tier list.
I think like the more trash we get, like the better it is for us overall.
I agree. Yeah.
Like algorithm of these things, like, and I almost think that the next time we make a tier list, we should definitely put some really bad takes on that thing. I think on purpose, we just take somebody's favorite team that's definitely A tier and put them all the way at the bottom, and then support it with some like outlandish claims and like double down on it and see how riled up we can get our little community of people. Because that's kind of what happened this time. And no, I don't really actually. We really don't want to upset anybody for sure. But I noticed that some of our spicier takes were really like the Ratlings. I had a ton of people just so stoked that we put Ratlings towards the bottom of A tier, and only 1 or 2 people wholeheartedly disagreed and kind of came at me for it. One of them being Tomas. And that's fine because he always wants to do that. Someone just let us know that George is echoing. I think probably better now. I think probably through my microphone. But yeah,
I unplugged
we had
my
a few
mic.
people kind of really upset about a couple things. One of my favorite reactions that we got was in the Instagram. Someone was like, "Why are all the Tau at the bottom?" And it's like, well, I think I commented back. It was like, "Nice Xenos always finish last."
Yeah, that was your comment.
Which is funny. That's what I felt like. But for the most part, no. I think we had some great stuff. I would say like in In retrospect, in terms of like how we some things that maybe we didn't nail, I think we may have overlooked the Death Watch nerfs. We kept them in mid A when I think in reality they're actually like a mid B team now.
Yeah, I think they got hit really hard in this data slate. We just haven't had any data back, but they're definitely down there. A lot of players are saying it, and I think it's definitely true.
Almost everybody said it about when we posted it. When anyone that was like coming to us with some serious like, hey, I think this is actually like not right. It was Death Watch, which is actually good. That was really the only one that I think was really out of place in terms of everything else. We had some very predictive takes. We had some very subjective ones, but nothing that couldn't be true in 3 months. But yeah, the Death Watch
Yeah.
one. I think what I overlooked, and I think when we made it live the first time, I might have suggested that it should be lower, but I don't remember how we ended up with them in middle of A. But I think the bigger problem was definitely the counteract changes where they can't fight and shoot on counteract, which is pretty big for a
Mhm.
five operative team.
Yeah, I definitely heard some because they're very they depend on that double counteract to try to do two spicy things each time. You
Well, I
just
think they
take
still
that away
get the
from
double
them.
counteract, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, but they can't do two like aggressive actions, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know,
That's huge. Like they can no longer.
or-
Yeah, you're right. Like they can't cap. Basically, it's like, oh, if you're locked in combat with somebody going in a counteract, you can no longer fight that model, kill it, and then shoot some
yeah,
other model that's a valid target to you.
correct,
It's pretty
correct,
big.
correct.
And the damage reduction was kind of big too. I don't know if that one was as
Mhm.
big a deal, but one thing I felt about Death Watch was always the counteract economy was so important for them. Um,
Very.
yeah,
Hmm.
and they don't have it now. With five guys, that's tough.
Hmm. Completely agree, dude.
Yeah. Well, outside of that, I mean, I feel like I was really stoked though with the first tier list, and even the
Me
more
too.
bullshitty takes that we threw up in there, I think we're pretty valid.
I think so too. I think we're making the game a better place for all kill team players.
Yeah. I recently went on just the other night. I was invited to hang out with the Vox Scream guys, Mark and Joe and George, and that was kind of like a just a little predate having me as a guest because I'm going up to their tournament this coming weekend.
Okay.
And
Yeah, the
I don't
Cherokee
think the
Open, right?
episode is live yet. Yeah, that's Cherokee coming up this weekend, and I don't know when they're
Hmm.
gonna put this episode out. But one thing that we talked about, obviously, we talked about the tier list that we had just made, and
Okay.
just talked a little bit about how in the kill team community the popularity contests with certain teams and then the reputations of certain teams and how tarnished they can get where there's just
Mhm.
some teams that they get locked in this box of like CDF and they just never leave it because one it starts
Mhm.
with one person and then someone else makes a tier list and like yeah they're not very good and you know etc said that they're not very good either and put them here so we should probably put them around this place as well and no matter how
Yeah.
many buffs they get, they never seem to catch the player count that will actually increase their win rates and make people show people for in real life at a tournament that a team like that could do well. Which is what's
Hmm.
really cool about our tier list, and that's what the Vox Stream guys had kind of recognized when they looked at ours as well, was that we had taken some teams that really have no reason not to be good, but just have that bad reputation. Teams like Kroot, Scout Squad, Ratling, just
Bradley.
these teams that just that people either have not thought were very good, or maybe just aren't very cool. Because that does happen too. Like we end up with like the
Mhm.
coolest teams, like quote unquote aesthetically, kind of oftentimes being top of the meta because they're also very good. But there's these underplayed teams, and I think people shy away from them a lot because they're like, oh, they look at a tier list, they're like, oh, this team, I kind of like them, but they're always in C or D. And it's like, I want to be good
Yeah.
at the game. But really, if some of these teams got played more and started winning more at, BCP, ITC events, we would see these teams actually having the win rates to match a B tier, a low A tier maybe. It just takes people finessing the team and figuring out the style.
It takes that one person to when when the team's in a bad spot in the tier list, it takes the one person to take them to like worlds
Right.
and then give them a run, and then you're just like, where did this team come from out of left field? Or show up at Nova or Adepticon with a CDF team, and then all of a sudden they win the whole show, and everybody's like, wait, where was this team? And they're here the whole time. They haven't left. They have the tools to do it. Just no one wants to run it.
Right. And that's where like the whole popularity contest thing is, and which is fine.
Hmm.
I just think that you want to see some of these teams. Like I think it might take more people kind of doing what we did and making a tier list and sticking some of these teams in these higher places and saying, hey, we think these teams
It's
are
okay. Yeah,
are
it's
high
okay.
B or low A, and we think you should too. Go try it out, figure out the play style. It was kind of like, well, I don't know where you would classify this, but like pre Crucible, we've talked about this before. I took pre buff Hand of the Archon, which at the time was
Mhm.
considered, people were putting them as the worst team in the game, like bottom of F tier, and I took them to Crucible and finished third. Now I had a really good win path in terms of teams I got to play against, but people were very shocked at that, and still people still bring it up to me sometimes that I've heard about it, and it wasn't like I did anything special. The team just wasn't that bad. Like
Yeah, I think people were just sleeping on Hand Archon because
yeah,
I practiced with them a lot. I mean, my normal practice partner is Chris, and that's his main team for a long time.
yeah,
So anytime I was playing Kill Team, I was playing against Hand of the Archon, and unless I was playing my top team, he was taking my lunch. He had that thing figured out. Even with the pre buffs, now
now
they're
they're
scary
really
for real.
even. I mean, they're really good now, but I don't think there was a huge difference before. I mean, everyone was like, when I was playing the team, especially when I was practicing for Crucible, everyone that I
Mhm.
played against was like, oh, yeah, they lost Ceaseless. They're kind of dead, and I'm like, well, they still have balanced. So like, yeah, I mean, like it's better to have
Have you heard of
Ceaseless.
From Darkness Death?
Right. And also when you hit on threes, like it's not like they hit on fours and fives and lost ceaseless. Like they still hit on threes. Some of the guys hit on twos.
Yeah.
So to me, I was like, this is weird, and I want to see why this team's so bad. And then all I did was like beat elite teams with them because it's an elite meta. They're elite killers. And
Yeah.
Dylan said something in the chat just now about the mental load of some of those teams that aren't as highly played keeps them in the lower brackets. I think is what he's kind of getting at, which is yeah, true. Elites are a lot
That's right.
easier in a way. I mean, elites are harder to play in a way of action economy, but also can be easier to play in a way of stat checking. So
Yeah, I agree, dude. And I think that there's a lot of teams that are like you said being hindered and for no reason. It's just a matter of trying the team out or running into them at a tournament, and you're just like, wait a minute, I thought this team wasn't that good, and then you get surprised.
yeah, right, and that's just kind of how it goes, and that's where I think, like the example I give about Hand of the Archon is exactly what I'm saying about some of the teams that we put higher on our tier list. It's like, yeah, these teams have no reason to be like considered this bad unless you're only basing the team off of like the current win rates. Then yeah, but I think we kind of, at least in my opinion, the way I was picking teams for places on that tier list was I was like, here is where I think it should be, not where it is. It was predictive. This is where it could and should be if people played the team like a normal team.
Yeah, I think that's why our tier list is kind of cool because you were kind of going off feeling. Eric was just throwing them up there, and I had like statistics. So each of us had like our own take on what we thought should be where, and I think it worked out pretty well.
I think it came together great. Yeah, it was also very knee jerk, which was fun when we made it. And I think a lot of we said this a bunch when we were making it was like, all right, someone sits down across from me at a tournament and they're a really good player with this team. Am I afraid? Which
Hmm.
maybe isn't the best. I guess it depends also. Like, I see some people making tier list. They don't make them that way. They make it based on how good the team is in anybody's hands. But to me, I don't think that's fair. Like, because then you could end up with like a team that's so overpowered that's just you give it to a new player, and I guess it's two different streets. But
Hmm.
um, I think thinking about it in a way of like, you know, are you basing it off how easy the team is to use, how easy they are to pilot, or are you basing it off of how good the team actually is once you figure it out.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, no, I'm super stoked. So we'll see. We'll wrap another one out here in like 3 months and kind of
Hmm.
see. I think we had some really interesting kind of responses. I loved like I basically told everyone like, yeah, just tell us what we did wrong. Give us what we want.
Yeah, just trash us. It's cool. We'll totally like it.
Yeah, you're feeding the algorithm. We're just if you just sit there and if you just see it and like it and you love everything on it, and you're not enraged to leave a comment. It doesn't really help us.
Mm. Hmm.
We actually need you to be viscerally upset.
Yeah, get mad at us for putting your team at the bottom. It's okay.
Yeah, that was the one comment on Spotify. So the whoever it was, I actually commented back to him and gave him the access to our Discord because he was like, he literally said, "I want access to the Discord. There's no way exaction is last. I want to talk about it." He never accepted, so maybe he changed his mind. That was funny though, because
Except
like I had some like hardcore exaction players message the Instagram account and they were like, "Man, hate to see it, but like you ain't wrong. It seems really bad right now." And I was like, "I'm glad that we got the last team in the meta wrong.
yeah.
Who knows though?"
uh,
But yeah, let's bump ourselves along here because we got some other stuff to chat about. Want to chat about like what we the main topic, the main course here is this over under board, which I
yeah.
know you haven't played yet. So I guess really it's gonna be me spitballing, and I'm
I
gonna give
have
you.
not played it. I know Jeff is running a tournament with it. I've seen all the pictures. Um, but I like how Jeff's take. I don't know if you saw the tournament that he did. He set up tables. He had like these custom tables where he had the Vocus
Did Jeff
board on
have a
top.
tournament and I missed it?
Yeah, yeah, they had a tournament. And Jeff ran those over under boards, and he did like these custom tables
When did Jeff
where
have
he
a
had the.
tournament?
I don't know. It was like a few weeks ago.
It's just happened. For all those
Yeah, he
listening,
doesn't.
yeah. If you, I say we're talking so casually, like when did Jeff did it, Jeff? No, we're talking about Mr. Jeff Selvey down in Tampa, one of our other Florida scene leaders here. He runs Crucible, which is we've talked about that event many times. He is the TO for Crucible, the Herald, and he's also kind of the main organizer for the Tampa area.
I
So
will
it
call him
sounds
the
like Jeff had a
savior.
tournament that I missed, but I did see him
Yeah.
making the custom. He made his own custom kind of. It was almost more like a Mordheim board thing. Like, to me, like
Okay.
where it felt like it was one complete kind of like structure, which was really cool.
Okay. That sounds really cool. I have to check that out. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, which is cool. I've seen boards like that for like Mordheim and Necromunda where like it's literally like you can work inside the board. It's not two separate pieces next to each other where it's like stacked. Like literally, it's over
Yeah.
under. But in terms of like this over under board for Kill Team, um, I had a lot of people ask me afterward, "Oh, what is the competitive nature of that board?" That was like the big question because I literally played it the day that the box released. I went down to Warpfire.
Mm.
I picked up a Shadowhunt box, a couple other things I needed, and I played a game with our good buddy Aaron Mayland. Everyone knows him in the Florida scene at least, and they're about to know him real well because he's coming to Cherokee. And not to get sidetracked, but Aaron has been an absolute monster recently, just crushing with Wolf Scouts pre and post nerf, and I think he's going to come up to Cherokee and take a good shot at winning this golden ticket. If Aaron walks away with the golden ticket, I would not be surprised. I would actually almost expect it with the way he's been playing.
That's awesome to
Yeah,
hear.
it's sick. It's super sick. So either way, me and him ran a game. We played Casterkin versus Space Marine Scouts, which is what I've been running on, and it was really interesting, dude. It was like so. When I got there, he already had it set up, and I was like looking at it, and I was like, "What the hell?" It's it's a very confusing, overwhelming board to play on because the Volcus side is much smaller. It's like a half Volcus board, and you have a two
Mhm.
inch deployment. So you have 2 inches to deploy your guys, which is very tight. And then you're only about, I think, I don't want to say this isn't exact for any of the super sweats that might listen. I think you're about 6 to 8 inches from the midline from your drop zone. Not 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 a big gap at all. So
Do
you're
both
very
players deploy? Do both players deploy on the top board?
you can choose. So that's what's interesting. So but whatever group. So if you're deploying your first third, you have to deploy the whole entire third on one or the other. You can't like put two guys on Tomb World and one guy on Volcus. So you're kind of a little bit limited to where you're structuring. But it's not too hard to go between the two maps either. There's 3 points on the maps that act as like hatchways. I guess like that you would like use like a ladder. I think it was a 2 or 3 inch tax to go through it onto the other board, and then it's kind of like a normal reposition outside the tax. So super interesting though. I mean, and then you also have a teleporter. So the map that Aaron and I played, we had a teleporter. One of the teleporter pads obviously was down in like basically the pretty much the middle of the Tomb World map but it ended up leaning a little bit more towards my deployment side. And then where you teleported to was the top of a Volcus building. So you could just go from you could start in the Tomb World, get on that teleporter to 3 APL, and go up, land on Vantage, and then rip a shot on your opponent on the Volcus side. So that's a
That
crazy
sounds.
threat to deal with. And then also the 3 access points across the map going, down and then or back up also were very interesting because of where they landed. There's just a lot you can do. And I
And
think,
you charge someone? Like, if someone's by the tunnel, can you charge them from the bottom to the top?
yeah, I don't see why not, especially if you land in control range. I think when you come out of the top, we actually didn't have that come up. So I'm not
Okay.
100% sure for the listeners. I can't say for sure that you can actually charge through those things because what we kind of were doing was figuring out as we went. Like we had the rules for it, and Aaron knew most of them, but like as a situation encountered, we were like, okay, can we do this or can we not? But like
Mhm.
some stuff that like he did was like 3 APL dash reposition through one of the hatchways from Tomb World up to Volcus. And then once he got to the Volcus, he still had a little bit more movement coming out of the access point, which then he was able to get to where he needed to rip a shot on me with like a grenade launcher with a caster
Mm.
protocol. So, and to think though too, what's funny about that is like it makes you're thinking a lot, and these boards are super killy because they're very small. The Volcus map is just a kill box, and then the CQB Tomb World is similar to a kill box, but it's a little bit more spread out. And Dylan looked it up. He said you can shoot, which is true. You can shoot through the access points as well. That did come up in our game. If you're within, I want to say an inch or 2 inches of it, you can actually get shot like down to up or up to down, which is kind of crazy. But it's hard to keep an angle and a management on all these threats when you're sitting there playing the game because you're like, not only are you playing normal kill team, but then you're like, all right, so like he's got a guy over there. That guy has the ability he could move dash to that access point and then get to the other side of the board, take out that guy, and then vice versa. All and you're already playing on these maps that are highly lethal. So I found it to be overwhelming, but maybe it wouldn't
Mm.
be if you really played it a lot. If you know what I mean, like if we had it in
Yeah,
every tournament,
yeah, reps.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it would become a normal thing. But I was looking at it and I was like, wow, what a cluster this would be to come and have to play this for like 6 rounds of a GT. Um, I don't know if I would love that, at least initially off the rip.
I mean, I wouldn't figure if GW was. I don't think GW will do something like that where they'll just do those boards. But I can see a world where they would set up, a Tomb World, a Volcus, and one of those those double boards up and under,
Yeah. I
over and
mean, I
under.
could see
Whatever.
it. I could definitely see it. I actually am expecting that some tournaments that we go to this year will be running it because it is cool. It's just so different. Um, it's like a whole nother game in a way because I think you think about and Dylan just he checked for us and let me know here in the chat that you can charge through them, which I assumed you could. I just didn't know exactly how it worked, but you can charge through the things as well. It's if
That's
you think
pretty
about
sick.
it, it's like when we first started playing on Tomb World It was such a change having the teleporter. That's a brand new game feature. Not game breaking, but something very much to get used to because you didn't used to be able to do that, obviously.
I see questions come up all the time about the teleporter, about being on it, holding on it, teleporting through it. Whenever I'm watching a game on TTS, a lot of questions I see come up still till today. Till this day.
Yeah. No,
So
it's definitely
I can only
like
imagine playing
there's a
on
lot
something
of like
overwhelming like
FAQ
that.
that goes with it. And I think that's where
Yeah.
you'll run into the issue because this is basically like the three access points are not teleporters but close enough. You know what I mean? So you have two boards you're playing across with four ways to traverse through the boards on two shortened maps that are highly lethal. I mean, I'm saying like you like in our game like you couldn't you if you did your full move essentially like straight up you were like I was at Aaron's home point with like a full like 7-inch move. That's how small the Volcus side was, which was fun though. I mean, it actually was a very fun game. It was like wackadoodle, like the stuff that was happening. I was like, what the fuck? The shit that would the access point trickery, moving people back and down through the teleporters, teleporting guys up to vantage and ripping shots on dudes behind light terrain, like just outlandish but fun.
It sounds like a lot.
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah, it
fun.
sounds like a lot. I definitely agree with you though. Some repetitions, and I'm sure you'll get the hang of it, and it'll probably be like almost like, oh, this is normal. Um, I think Jeff mentioned he wanted to keep running them at his events. He thinks they're really cool. And they like you said, since it's such a different mechanic, it completely changes the dynamics of certain teams because now a lot of Hordy teams will become threats because if they could get an APL, essentially, move through the thing and then rip a shot at someone on the other board that they were never a threat in the first place to someone on the other side. And then now they're just going to come through the hole and be like, hello, peekaboo.
Yeah, I was thinking
Uh,
like a team like Blooded would be really fun on that kind of map.
yeah, like
Yeah,
Blooded comes to mind, Kazrikan, all these teams that you could just be like, hey, you go shoot over there, and it's no,
yeah,
or
no,
even like Hand of Archon,
yeah,
because like, would you consider that if you're on the bottom map, you go through the thing, you get from darkness death because you're not visible to or a target from the person you're going to shoot at, so you would darkness death, move, shoot someone on the other board, and they're just like, well, I couldn't see you or target you. So that's guaranteed crits on your side every time you shoot me when you do that.
yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think there's a lot of interesting things to be done. Um,
Mm.
I'm trying to think too, like some other stuff that happened, like interplay wise on the map. I think it's also funny too, like you could move a model on Tomb World and be kind of like underneath of the access point, and then someone just walks over and just like rips shots down on your head, like in a hallway. You're just like, shit. You're just getting
Are
rapid
the
fire on.
are the objective markers? Are there three on each board? Are there two on each board? How does that work?
So yeah. Oh no. It's on the one that I played. I think it comes with actually a competitive map layout for
Okay,
like competition. The one that we played had a objective one was dead center of the Tomb World map, and then two and three were on
the
the
Volcus side.
Volcus. So yeah, like
Okay,
it was weird. Like my home point was on Volcus, Aaron's home point was on Volcus, and then the mid was on
was a
Tomb
contested
World.
point. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting. We got a few other people hopping in here in our chat as well. Grave Paints is here, of course. Our guy,
What's up, Gabriel?
yeah, our boy Gabriel. He's excited that we mentioned Mordheim earlier, which, you know what? Like, that's a game I just haven't played yet, and I do want to play it because I know it's like fantasy Necromunda. It's kind of
Mm.
up my alley. And I
Have you
know
seen
that
have you seen
Warpfire.
Gabriel?
What is
Have
it?
you seen Gabriel's Mordenheim? Have you seen Gabriel's Mordenheim team?
No, no, never seen
Oh
it.
man, the
Sick.
Carnival of Chaos. Super, I think that's what they're called. They're pretty cool. He has some awesome paint jobs, and they're led by a giant Papa Nurgle that he got 3D printed on a cart. as the centerpiece. They
Nice.
are chef's kiss.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like him. He actually just mentioned some stinky boys being stinky near the teleporters on this new map just a minute ago in the chat. Um, and we got a new face here that I don't recognize. Ronald, what's up, my guy? He says yow. So what's up, Ronald?
What's
Um,
up, Ron?
but yeah, Warpfire just got a really sick Mordheim board in the store that I
Ooh.
don't know where it came from when I was there just playing this game. Then it was like kind of like what I was talking about with Jeff, where it had like multi stages where you could
Hmm.
like move your models underground through different passageways, and you could actually just like be present the whole time. It was so cool.
So it's like very Necromunda.
Yep. Which I think is like I mean I don't I, like I, again I don't know too much about Mordheim, but I'm pretty sure that it's very similar to Necromunda in like kind of the vibe of the game where it's pretty like anything can happen. It's obviously very narrative. It's not like Kill
Mm.
Team where you're super competitive and you have like a lot of dice control things like that. Pretty sure it's just like D&D style. Anything can happen.
Mm. That sounds fun.
Yeah, Mr. Ronald just hit
Yeah.
us with one of these in the chat. Oh yeah,
Okay, okay, dabbing it
yeah,
out. I
he's
like
looking
that.
this up. But yeah, no, overall, the over under, I'm curious to see. I want to see how many tournaments we see it at coming up this year, and I want to see if the greater Kill Team community starts to recognize it as, um, a standard.
Mm.
Who knows? It could be cool. I mean, if you think about the fact that we are like not getting Beta Decima at any tournaments because they never fixed it. And so we're
Hmm.
just dealing with Volcus versus Tomb World.
I mean, are there still have you been to a tournament recently where they run ITD? Is ITD still a thing? Are they still running it, or
I mean,
they're
I
just running
assume
Tomb?
it will be ran. It's it's Tomb World without the teleporters. So I
Yeah.
assume, I don't see why not. Um, I think the Galadarg ITD stuff will definitely still be run. I'm just not sure how often you'll see it. I think the new standard for that will be Tomb World with the teleporters. It's kind of
Mm.
hard to tell though at the moment because there just hasn't been that many events.
Okay.
I'm sure.
When I get
I'm curious to see. I'm traveling up to Cherokee this weekend, so I'm pretty curious to see what it looks like up there in terms of like how many boards they have set up. If it's all Tomb World, um, or if it's a mix of Tomb World and ITD.
mm. Okay.
Could be either.
Well, I'm sure you'll get back with the notes after the event. I'm not can't wait to hear.
Oh yeah, we'll come back with a full report. Um, and yeah, Gabriel in the chat is asking if Tomb World took over ITD. I'm not sure really that it took over Gabriel, but it is the newer
Like the new
version.
edition.
So, but when they
Yeah.
released the approved ops for this year, that includes all the map packs. They did release maps
ITD
for ITD as well. So I think
and
it's just
Beta
kind of the
Decima,
new hot
right?
thing. What did you say that again, George?
Isn't there maps for Beta Decima and the new
Yeah.
approved
Oh
ops
yeah.
too?
They've continued to support all these different terrain layouts. So I just think
Yeah.
that we're seeing a lot of Tomb World recently because it is, like I said, the hot new thing.
I think if I were to run an event, I'm definitely gonna try to run Beta Decima, just to kind of throw a wrench at the players.
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
that's a
it's
fun one.
cool. There's that New England map pack for it that kind of like switches up
Yeah.
the vibe. I just, I think that there's just some matchups on Beta Decima that are just so punishing for certain players where it's just so unfair. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, but I do like
Yeah,
the idea of it. I wish they
might
had fixed
tweak
it.
the rules. I think if I run in and just tweak some of the rules, it'll work out fine.
Sure.
Like house rules.
Yeah, do some house rules on it. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, I think the last kind of bit about the over under map that I think is cool is that it is a way to take two current popular terrain sets and make something new that could be run in a tournament, you know. And I guess like
I
the
think
thing
it's a
is
fresh
like,
idea. Yeah.
I had said
It's
earlier
fresh.
how confused I felt playing it for the first
Hmm.
time on the mixture, but
Hmm.
really it wasn't any less confusing than the first time I played Tomb World, where I was like so many
Hmm.
new rules, teleporters, breach points, you know. So
Yeah.
maybe in a more optimistic way, maybe there's no reason not to run these over under boards at the tournaments. I think let's if you're listening and you're you're out there and you're setting up at your local game night, running a local tournament, whatever, let us know. Are you going to run these? Shoot us a message. I'm curious. I want to hear kind of what people are thinking in terms of this because it is like GW didn't promote it too hard. I don't know if you've felt the same way, George. I feel like there wasn't a lot of hype or promotion that went with the
Yeah,
new layout.
not at all. Like it wasn't like it was the big thing, the big talk of the town. The box was all the new teams.
Right.
I'm interested to see. We need to reach out to Linford to see what he's doing if he's gonna run it at events because he's definitely someone who tries to push the envelope on different boards and different layouts and tries his own stuff. So
He's the king of
maybe,
custom maps.
yeah. So we should definitely try to reach out to him to see what he thinks about it if he's gonna run at an event.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like based on what we've talked to him about in the past, I feel like there's like a strong chance that you'll be seeing these at the next Norwich Kill Team tournament.
Yeah, on Tuesday night you're gonna show up and it's just a bunch of these
Why not?
these
But yeah, I
boards.
think it's interesting though that we didn't see a lot of like Warcom hype to go with it or anything. So it's odd and it really, like you said, you know, who I guess who really cared is what I'm thinking. Like with because everything was about the new teams, so it was kind of like an afterthought in the box. But really, in a way, like the teams are cool. They will come and go though. There will be new teams, and it's pretty cool that like in the box you get two new boards. It's like it's like a custom cut half focus and a custom cut half ICD with the hatchway markers that go with it. Um, so they did actually add some sauce in there. There's some legit stuff that goes with it, and there was a competitive map pack layout for it.
I think someone needs to definitely step up to the plate, start to run it, and then I think
It could
once
be
the
you, George.
floodgates are open and someone starts to run it, everyone will start to run it.
It could be you.
It's gonna be it's gonna be you. You got an event coming up. Don't you got one coming up right now? We might run into it at Magnolia.
Yeah, no. Well, mine. Yeah, there's a few between now and mine, but I'll run it at mine because mine's a fun one. Um,
Maybe Ben will run it at Magnolia.
yeah, reach out to old Ben, see what he's gonna do about it. Um, yeah, I'll probably run it at mine. Why not? Because super fun event, 3 rounds, coffee, beer, food at the end of
You
the
should
day.
run it at yours. Run it at yours and do the top board beta decima.
Maybe, dude. I don't know. I think the problem with that is getting the beta decimal terrain.
You don't have it?
I don't have it. No, it was before my time. It was before my kill team time.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, mine is
But
just
I'm
sitting
sure
in a.
plenty of people have it. I could get my hands on it, but we'll see. We'll see. That's the down low on the over under. Is it going to be competitive? Who's to know? I think it's cool though. I like that we got some extra swag in the box, and I think we gotta talk about it more. I didn't initially buy myself a box. I seem to just acquire boxes for all my friends. I was like the Shadowhunt drug dealer this time around, which was fine because I wasn't overly excited about either team. But then I saw the sisters models in person at the local game night last Tuesday, and I was like, damn, those half shoulder cloaks look fucking sick. And like that was literally all it took. And so it was just the
Yeah,
half shoulder cloaks, dude. Like I thought that was cool. I also didn't realize that the crossbows had bolter mags in the bottom of them, where they're like
yeah, because
they're
you're like a custom unit, a custom gun.
dude, yeah, how sick. I mean, I love the vibe. I ended up really, really liking the vibe of the team, and I was like, all right, I could probably play this team for a long time. Um, gonna kind of see how they do. Hopefully, they don't get any bad changes. Only good ones. I think they deserve at this point. They're a very balanced team. I don't think they deserve any
Mhm.
negative changes. So hopefully, only like a slight buff to those girls would be good.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we'll see. But I immediately bought that. Literally found on eBay. It was kind of perfect. I found on eBay. It was the whole entire Shadowhunt box, including the new map layouts and all the stuff that goes with it. And all that was missing was the sprue of those damn dirty raptors. And I didn't care. Fuck them.
Mm.
Didn't want them. After playing them today, I was like, man, I hadn't played them yet. It was kind of a big one. Past week or two, people asked me a lot, like, how are you gonna handle Murder Wing with Space Marine Scouts at a tournament? What's your game
we
plan? Have you played
should we
them?
go into play of the week and you talk about it?
I don't even have a play of the week from that game, but yeah, we can go into play of the week. We'll make the game. Maybe I do have like one, but yeah, you're right. Let's go into play of the week before we go through that. So yeah, I mean, I think Tomas probably has more plays of the week than I do for this game, but it was a close game. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought. I actually tried not to think of it in a bad way prior because I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna treat this like a normal team. They're elites that they can fly, um, and that's it. And what I found was that they died just as easy as any other Marine, and they can't ignore any injuries or stuns, which is great. And once you start kind of picking them down, they do fall apart pretty fast. I think we finished our game 14-10 with Tomas winning, and it didn't feel too bad. Like in terms, what felt bad was my tac op choice was terrible. I was trying something different. I chose scout enemy movement. I had heard that there might be some sauce with that against Murder Wing, and it didn't work for me. I think that tac op is kind of flawed because unlike other tac ops, you don't score anything on the initial action. When you do the scout action, you have to be on conceal, and you have to be 6 inches away from an enemy model that has not been activated yet. So a ready active model, and then you scout them for an APL, and then at that point they are monitored for the turning point, and then to score you have to be visible and have eyes on a model that you monitored at the end of the turning point. And I feel like that's really not too hard to deny. Like, obviously, it might change your opponent's playstyle where, like, oh, maybe they don't want to go out in the open and charge you or go shoot you because then you're going to be able to monitor them and see them at the end of the turning point. But it
Mhm.
was kind of tough to juggle shooting, charging, fighting, playing the crit up, and also spending an APL to look at a guy. I guess is what I'm getting at. Like, that's what it felt like. It was like, and you have to do it also early in the turning point because you have to do it against an elite team specifically. It's tough because you have to do
Gotta
it
be
before they're
ready.
expended.
Yeah, they have to be ready.
But outside of that, you know, I think the team isn't all the negative energy that it's receiving. I just think it's kind of tough because I think of it this way. If you took Angels of Death, right, and you gave them the boost faction rule and the ability to fly and jump over stuff and all the stuff that goes with the boost rule, right? They'd be really fucking good.
They'd be unstoppable.
Right. Except the thing is that AOD are the more basic Marines. So the problem
Yeah.
is with Murder Wing, in my opinion, is that AOD can do some stuff that Murder Wing can't. But Murder Wing is a team, and the operative selection, every guy does some crazy shit. Like they
Hmm.
have some rules that are just wild. So not only do they have this super powered faction rule, but then to go with that, they're all Marines, and then they have really great unique actions that do make them very powerful. Now that, like I said, you can't ignore injury, but I don't know. I think at face value, it's like just too much to have that faction rule mixed with those special abilities. It's too much.
Yeah, they're like glass cannons, right? You would say they could come in and just devastate you, but they fall apart easy without the durability.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I don't know if they're quite glass cannons, but they definitely like they still I guess have the durability of the fact they save on threes and they have 14 wounds to chew through each, but still it's just a lot. And like the warp talon's crazy with his ability to just come on the board anywhere from his little warp marker that
Anywhere
you put
on
down.
by the point or in the deployment if you don't want to be
Yeah,
by
yeah.
the
You could
marker.
also just be like, yeah, he's coming in over here. Chaos Lord is
Hmm.
crazy, really ridiculous model, and the Depredator is the most abusive thing ever. Like I was like I knew the 2D3 action twice was going to be awful. Having it happen and to me against two models that he was able to get in the swing, I was like, Jesus, dude, like just crazy, crazy town.
Mm-hmm.
So there's my take. There's no plays of the week in there. I think if I had a play of the week in that game, it would be. I'm trying to think what the play of the week was. I think my play
Well,
of the week.
wait. Why don't you tell them what your shotgun boy, right? Took out the Senor Chaos.
That was cool, but I think I have a better one, and it includes the rocket launcher, which is a much better scout play.
Okay.
So I had a
Okay.
shotgun warrior um, hanging out. I kind of took a few warriors in this game, and I was like, these are my prey. So I put them up towards the midline, just knowing that he was going to have to deal with them, and they were far enough away where he couldn't charge, fight, and shoot at me. So he was going to have to charge, fight, and get rid of these guys unless he wanted them to score points. And then my back line of heavier guys was going to rip through these murder wing operatives, which actually is what happened in a lot of the circumstances. I ended up killing 4 out of 6 guys, and the last 2 guys he had were each on 5 wounds.
Okay.
So killed a lot. Scouts still do hella damage, but at one point he charges. I think it was the Shrieker, the dude that does the stuns. It was either him or the Warp Talon. He charges in. Oh no, maybe it was the Huntmaster. It's whoever has the chain snares on the team. I can't remember which model, but charges my Scout Warrior and ends up not killing him in the melee. And he may have even purposely left me alive because he was trying to stay locked in combat with me. And he had chains there, so he knew he was probably going to keep me there. But I was like, I have nothing else to lose, so let me just try to fall back. I fall back. He fails the chain snare test, which was great because I fell back to safety, stayed on conceal, and now there is an engaged full health murder wing operative 6 inches in front of a rocket that's going to have piercing 1, relentless, and lethal 5 and saturate. And it's going to be disgusting. And it was. That was my next activation, was just a straight, just perfect 2 crits, killed this thing. It didn't matter. It's 14 damage off the rip with 2 crits from one of those things, dude. That was the scout play that you just dream of. I think when you're playing this team right now, you're just waiting to just fire a relentless rocket. You actually want it to be a blast one because you want to give the blast lethal 5 saturate on open and just blast a couple dudes. But still, you're just waiting to shoot a relentless rocket at somebody. And if you're able to set it up where you get the extra APL on your rocket launcher, you're waiting to do it twice in one activation. Which is just, I did that later. I had the same rocket. The next time it was his champion. He had his champion on the other side of the board. And this was actually obscured. But because the rocket does so much damage, even obscured, I had 3 APL, and I spent the money for Astartes, or spent the CP for Astartes, and then shot the rocket twice. Both shots were obscured. Still killed the champion because the thing is so powerful, dude.
Jesus. That Rocket Boy definitely earned his stripes.
5.7's hell of a drug. It's pretty sick. I would say, though, if you're playing Scouts, which you're probably not because nobody believes me or cares, but if you are playing Scouts, my recommendation is to drop the Heavy Bolter. I think he sucks. He's just, I don't know why. Like, every time I take the Heavy Bolter, he slows me the hell down. It sucks to have 3 guys that all are dash only, which is the 2 heavy gunners and the sniper. And I think you gotta drop the Heavy Bolter and take another warrior. It's my scout take at the moment.
Do you like to take 4 shotgun warriors, or do you ever take a pistol guy?
No, I mean, well, no. Depends on the matchup. I actually think the pistol blade warriors are sick. If you're playing a horde team, you take like 4 or 5 of those bad boys, and with all the extra APL you get, you just charge, fight, shoot. You're just killing everything.
Yeah, and if you take combat, do their combat blades hit for 4-5?
Everyone on the team hits for 4-5 now, which is sick. So the equipment you get for that, they've changed
Yeah, the combat.
So the equipment now gives all the guys that don't have a melee profile 3 attacks 4-5, which is great. So even the heavy gunners have 4-5, and all that really means is like you're not charging with them, but if you had to, maybe. But really, at the end of the day, if they take a charge, you're just hoping to hit your opponent for 5. on the way out. You just
Hmm.
want to get one retaliatory crit in, and you're an okay defensive melee team. The other models, like the Hunter, who's got the lethal three, or any of the Blade Warriors, they all have 4 attacks on 4/5.
Yeah, so they're a lot more deadly in melee.
Yeah, 4 attacks is always like you're always hoping you always want a fifth one. The leader's got 5 attacks with a chainsword, but
Yeah,
still,
leader's a total child. He's in starting, so
yeah, he's got it down. But
yeah.
that was. What about you? You got a play of the week? You played any kill team recently?
No, I haven't played any games lately. Doing a lot around the house and stuff. I've had to remove my studio and reorganize it, and I'm still kind of in the middle of that. So yeah, been kind of busy.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, you've been a busy boy. It seems like you haven't been super active on
No,
on the
happens. This
Discord.
is life.
I feel
This
you
is
though,
life.
man. I feel you. Just I've been hurting, dude. Like I had the flu for 2 weeks, basically in January, like the last 2 weeks of January. Recovered from that, and then 5 days later, whatever, something happened, and then I end up with this bacterial sinus infection, and then now it's turned into it went from
Horrible.
that to a double ear infection. So it's like it's just
Gee,
ripping through me. I'm on antibiotics now, clearing this out of me. But dude, it's been a ripper. It's been a ripper.
that's horrible.
And I'm
Yeah, I
still
think
got a bunch time to
I have
finish
like
painting these scouts for Cherokee next weekend. So I'm just like,
just get in the zone. I have like 3 or 4 of my kids sick. It's just a lot's going around right now. So
it is, dude. It is. The
yeah.
the the dad times can be rough. I saw a really funny
Yes.
like non Warhammer dad story that I just feel like we have enough dads that listen to this that it's just got to go on here. But just this past Friday,
Hmm.
schools were closed. I don't know if that was like a whole entire Florida thing, but at least in this county they were closed for like an in-service day. So I took
Okay.
Sawyer to this local indoor like playground thing, and it's basically just
Mm.
like a giant jungle gym, but they have this giant ball pit. And she wanted me to get in it with her, and at the time it was only gonna be the two of us in there. So I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll jump in the ball pit. And so I get in the ball pit with her, and she's like smashing me with balls, and actually kind of hurt. And this continues, and then before I know it, a couple other kids have come in, and then a few more, and then a few more, and then within like 5 minutes, I'm getting absolutely slaughtered by toddlers with with
Kill the dad.
rainbow colored plastic balls, and I had to start like telling kids to stop. I was like, please stop. Like, I was getting hit so hard, dude, in the face with these things. Like, and there was like a 7-year-old boy that just appears in there, and I could see it in his eyes. He's like, I want to fuck this dad up. He's just like ripping me with these balls, dude, so hard, and I'm just like getting smashed. And I was like, dude, I remember I looked at him. I was like, dude, stop. Like, you're too old to be doing this. Like, that actually hurts. Like, oh, dude, I got destroyed. And then afterward, finally get out of this thing. There's like 8 kids that have now just slaughtered me. I go down the bottom, and the workers are in there, and they're like, "We have that on video." And I was like, "Great, like do something with it, because I'm sure it would go viral or something." And they're like, "Yeah, you got slaughtered." And I was like, "Yeah, I did. That wasn't fun." Just like, I don't know. No relation to Kill Team other than slaughtering, but dude, just dad shit. But all right, we got a couple more things to go here. We're gonna wrap this one up because this feels like a very like just classic Cam and George episode. We've been riffing, we've been having a good time. Um, on the Allspec scan for this week, let's get
Yeah.
the Allspec scan going because I got a good one.
Mhm.
All right, Allspec scan for this week is my newest Kill Team accessory. I got to make one comment here before I show this though, which is that one of my locals, Bruno, and you've not met him yet, but I play with him all the time. He's one of my
Yeah.
only. He is probably my only other St. Augustine kill teamer. So Team St. Augustine, that's the two of us. And he said the other day, I was with him, and he was like, you're great at kill team and something, 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 but with you, it's all about the kill team accessories. Is what he told me. And I was like, that's fucking hysterical, dude, because you're not wrong at all. I do love some kill team accessories that are like modular, magnetic, and like super like minimal. That's like my thing these days. And
Yeah.
so I found these online because I've been tired of using dice, and this is not an unpopular thing. These are very popular, but I really like this setup. These are, let's see, I'll get up to the camera here. You can't really read it or see it. This is a Fat Dwarf. Is the name of the company. It's from the UK. Fat Dwarf Wound Counter Set. So you get 8 wound counters. It's in this really cool little magnetic case. You see that guy right there? Bam. So
Mhm.
nice. And inside, you got these metal lathe cut wound counters, dude. Like they are nice, solid,
Oh, then
sturdy. The set cost me $20. They go up to, I think, 16 wounds, and they are big enough to where you can set them under your model up to a size 32 base, and they won't really affect. I mean, obviously, like don't measure for advantage because your model's taller now. But if you're trying to save some board space in a tight cinch, you can stick your model on top of the wound counter. But dude, so nice. Like the 3D print quality is crazy on this. That's like much sturdier and it has like texture, which is very uncommon. Found it on Etsy, but they have a bunch of other stuff too. So we're gonna link it on the Instagram, of course. I'll post it in the story. It's fatdorf.com. What a name.
shut off my board.
Yeah, shout out Fast Dwarf. Someone told me they were like, the implication of the name Fat Dwarf means that there must be a skinny dwarf that exists. And it's like, yeah, I guess so. Who is the skinny dwarf?
I think those are called hobbits.
Right, dude. Right. Right. That's not, you're on to something. But yeah, Fat Dwarf. Yeah, I do love some Kill Team accessories. So if you know any other accessories out there, Kill Teamers, bring it on. I'll buy
Yeah.
accessories all day, dude. I guess like
Link it to Cam.
yeah,
He'll
this is
just
like what it
support you.
feels like to be a girl, I guess, and go get all your bullshit for your purse, but it's for our war dollies
He has everything you need and more.
and more. Definitely. All right. So dude, I think I feel like we've covered what we wanted to talk about tonight. We talked about the tier list, we talked about the reactions, we talked about the Fat Dwarf, we talked about the new map design, and I feel like it brings us, the new map design goes really well with our That's Heresy for this evening. So let's just jump into that, dude, and then call it. Just call this one.
Let's do it.
That's Heresy, brother.
So that's Heresy for this week. I'm gonna give you the choice, but we're gonna go for it, and it's perfect for the new map layout that we were talking about. It is open board versus CQP, CQB, Volcus versus Tomb World, Volcus versus ITD. What are you taking?
Well, I think if you like to open hatchways and waste action points, that's heresy. So I'm gonna stand on the tippity top of the Volcus structure and say that if you think that playing on a smaller kill team board with no vantage is a good idea, you're a heretical crazy person. Like you belong with the with those night lords over there.
Okay, so that's all you got.
That's all I got. No, I can keep going. Well, uh listen, I haven't played a lot of Tomb World, but I will tell you this. It sucks setting up ITD. Have you broken fingernails trying to rip those caps off? That is atrocious. You guys have horrible design. I could whip out my Volcus set and I could set that bad boy up in like 15 minutes with my cards. Not even 5 minutes with my card. And you're over there breaking your thumbs like, oh, is it A2? Is this A5? B1? Yeah, you're struggling. You're struggling.
Yeah, that's not
I only
fun.
got to remember like 8 little things like K and J, which I still have to look at the card every time because I don't know which letter corresponds to which little pile of trash. I don't know if you still have to do that.
You do have that there, correct? It does fucking suck to set. I can't even argue with that one, but I gotta argue something here. Um, though, here's my problem, and it's the same problem I said
Okay.
earlier. My problem is that especially in the current meta, fuck a Volcus map, dude. Are you gonna want to play Murder Wing on Volcus at the top table of the GT? No, you're not. you're going to be praying to the Emperor.
Yes.
You're going to be praying to the Emperor that you get matched with Murderwing on CQB. There ain't nothing
Well,
worse right now than Murderwing on
if
Volcus.
I was in a
And
tournament, I would prefer Volcus actually into Murder Wing because personally I play Wolf Scouts and my Storm is neutered in fucking close
telling you,
quarters.
you
But
don't want it, dude. You don't want it. It's bad
well, I probably don't want
news.
it now with my
It's bad
neutered.
juju.
Yeah.
And you know what else sucks about Volcus is like, Vantage is cool and all, but honestly, fuck a 3D game, dude. I just like that. I love that Tomb World is just like straight across. Like I see you, you see me, no 3D measurements with the auras. Yeah, we measured through doors, but fuck it. Also, we have a teleporter. It's pretty sick. Initially, I hated it. I actually was like, damn, fuck this teleporter. This shit's super annoying. I don't like it at all. Like, I was like, I don't want to have to deal with like setting up and playing with it. But no, after I've kind of figured out the juju, the pure joy of taking the 3 APL Diabolic Bomber from Blooded, putting his ass on that teleporter and sending him through, and chucking that Diabolic into a room of 4 dudes. There ain't nothing like it. There ain't nothing like that, dude. You blast 4 dudes
Listen,
coming through a teleporter, you're high as fuck on it, dude. You're like,
I can see
yes!
that close quarters has made you soft in the way that because in turn one in close quarters, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen in turn one. You got doors stopping you from getting hurt. You know, Vocus, it's really living on the edge, baby. You're living on that line, right? Because you could die at any point.
You're good.
Someone could just someone could just be in your drop zone or
Yeah.
jump on a vantage and get you.
Someone?
It could be
No,
Tomas.
not
Tomas
someone,
could be coming for you.
but Murder Wing, yes, they could. So, not just anybody, but Flying Space Marines can for sure get there on turn one. But you know where they can't get? On Volcus. Why? Because I closed the fucking door in their face. Or I said on Volcus, sorry, on Tomb World. That's the other thing I
Unless
love.
they breach
I
a
can just
point.
like
Unless
abuse.
they
I love abusing a door control, dude. You don't want to deal with something right now. You want to open a door, do something, and then shut it. Great, do it. You have 3 APL. Do it.
unless you open a breach point, then you can't close it.
Right. Fuck a breach point. I don't. None of the teams I play have enough piercing to even do it without spending 2 turns getting the damn thing open. Which
Well,
is
now you got the
maybe
equipment.
my only complaint.
You got the new equipment now, which kind of helps out with that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was actually pretty funny. Like Eric and I played this game on a Tomb World map that we were working on for the Florida United Kill Team map pack the other week, and which is something that we haven't talked about at all in the podcast, and maybe we were waiting. But yes, we have like a partial Florida United Kill Team map pack, and we're in the process of finishing it. It's going to have 6 Volcus and 6 Tomb World maps, and it'll release in a branded Florida United Kill Team PDF that we're going to post in all the Discords and all the Reddit channels, et cetera, uh, coming soon, but not quite yet because we have like 2 maps to finish. But pretty
Well,
hysterical
I know
moment in
you.
this game was I had to take I set up to have my blooded Melta Gunner just go
Mm.
balls to the wall and get to the breach point in front of Eric's home point.
I
And
know we're not agreeing on the maps right now, right? On the Vocus and ITD, but I will tell you this. You know what we do agree on?
what?
The over/under maps are the best maps
Sure,
because they
dude,
have
over
both.
under. It's a perfect combination of both, dude. I was
It's
so
both.
unsure about it earlier when I talked,
It
and
unites us, it brings us together.
yeah, everything there. It's like the perfect sandwich. I mean, as I talked about it earlier, I was so unsure, but then as the podcast has gone on, the light is clear, and it's the perfect mixture of you can teleport onto the vantage that you love so much, George.
That's insane.
I don't know if
That's
that's on every
honestly
map though. That was definitely on the one that we played. Yeah, you can teleport
I
onto it.
mean,
I mean,
that sounds crazy.
it's
That
everything
sounds
but
like
one.
one of the
You can
that's
shoot through a
everything.
hole in the
I
ground
mean, it's
onto a
chaos.
dude's
Yeah.
head. It's crazy.
I like how you said that the maps are especially the top board is very condensed. It reminds me of that Call of Duty map shipment, right? Call
Yeah,
of Duty
that
Modern
is kind of what it
Warfare.
felt like. Even the
Yeah,
Volcus map kind of felt CQB-ish because it was so small and the killing lanes were so accessible and so tight that like no matter what you did, you were in it. Like you can't stay in your 2-inch drop zone.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was cool.
I definitely want to try one of those games out.
Yeah, no. I think we'll run it, but yeah, it was a funny thing like with those breach points, dude. Like took this blooded melta gunner and spent his whole entire life in 2 activations to get this breach point open just for him to die. And I was like, you know what? That's just so dumb. Like, why did I do that? But it was so blooded because it was like I can just imagine this guy with 2 brain cells and a melta gun, and he's running as hard as possible at the enemy's home point to blast his melta gun through the wall. And as soon as he does it, he just dies because why else?
A piece of mortar falls on him as he's walking through the hole.
No, I'm pretty sure he did it, and then I didn't. Basically, the whole thing was like I had to get up there, open it, and then win initiative, and then melt to somebody. I just lost initiative, so then Eric was just like, "Okay, caster can rips your head off with a hot shot las gun."
Mm. Your melt is kind of just standing to the doorway, like, oh yeah.
That's kind of what it. Every time I play Blooded, though, it's kind of what it feels like. Like it's just like you just know that they're just like really, really low IQ. Like they're just dumb. I think the fact that they have a guy on their team that literally can his like special unique ability is to get within 3 inches and tell you to do it again is just so funny. It's like
He's like,
do that
like pure
again.
pressure.
Like, it happened in that
That's what the
game where I
most
had a
people-
guy. I had my enforcer. I don't know if we shared it on the podcast or not, but I had the enforcer.
Yeah, I think.
Did we do that one? The blast.
But yeah, no,
It's just
tell
so
us the story
funny.
again.
Yeah, just
Tell
like
us the story again.
you have another frag grenade. Throw it.
The move's called enforce, but it should be called peer pressure.
It's the most narrative kill team that we have. I think Blooded are so awesome. I think they're so fun. They're fun in the same way that Rekkas are fun, where it's super balanced and you can smash somebody, but you can also get smashed because it's Blooded.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we came to we ended that's Heresy on a mutual agreement that
Oh, I take
over
it back.
under is the
I
best.
don't like Volcus.
Oh man, here we go again.
I'm done. Oh, I'm
You know-
done. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah, it's funny. It's like that's a tough one because I really do. I think in the kill team community, I think we're pretty blessed to have two pretty solid like map layouts that I enjoy.
Yeah,
both.
imagine if we had a Volcus and then 3 versions of Beta Decima that no one would play.
No one plays. I wouldn't mind another map
Everyone would be
that's
just
like
on.
it's so hard for them to put out solid maps. I feel like to support these things, but I feel like Volcus and Tomb World right now are in a pretty good spot. I mean, some of the GW maps that they've released for this year's approved ops are definitely not that good, but I think in general, they're both maps are a pretty good sandbox to create and have different interactions amongst teams within these two unique terrains they've created, and I do think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really want to see if people start using more the Typhon, like the alien.
Yeah, dude, I literally
stuff-
never played on that
think-
once.
I think I've heard that the boards are very symmetrical and they're not really that good competitively. But I wonder if Eric has always told me one of the biggest problems he has with building Volcus boards is the 2 big structures take up too much space.
Mhm.
So I wonder if there's a play where he just completely takes out one of the big buildings and he just puts in a bunch of those heavy pillars, cesspods from the Typhon set, and maybe he could find a balancing board like that with only one giant structure, 2 little ones, and then
Yeah.
all the extra scatter.
That could be cool. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds cool though.
I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally have never. The funny thing is, that I don't think I've ever even seen those pieces in person because it was another one of those things where, like, same thing with the Sanctifiers, the big
statue?
reliquary statue that came out. Like,
Yeah.
I did see that in person, but I never played a game with it. And that's kind of the thing. It's like I've talked to Ben about this before too, where it's like I don't really care that much. Unfortunately, I love narrative stuff. Like I'm playing a lot of other narrative games these days that feel a lot more like story driven, like Necromunda, for example. But with Kill Team, I just don't really care that much for the narrative side of it. Unfortunately, I really, for some reason, I think I'm such a dopamine addict and such a a competitive sweat in a way, but also a fun sweat. That I only really
Mm.
care about what we're going to be using at the tournaments.
Yeah.
And that maybe isn't for everybody, but that's just me. I also think my mind is a little one track with like these things where like I'm with the kill team with kill team as a game. I'm just like, yeah, what am I going to be using for my match play kind of stuff.
Mm. A lot of times when guys practice too, they're practicing for an event, so they want to use the legal boards to kind of get reps in on them and
Hmm.
understand them better. If they're gonna, especially if you're chasing a golden ticket, that's I think the biggest problem. At least I have at my house when I'm setting up games. Usually, it's I want to set up a custom board, but you know, there's always there's always a talk of, oh, we need to get the reps in for the next event, or you need to get the reps in because what if you do chase that golden ticket down?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely. So yeah,
but I like to use all those weird terrain, little like the statue, and I have the orc command bunker. I always try to throw them in on
I
custom
did play
boards,
on
especially
that
if I'm
one.
doing it.
That one was fun. That was cool. We did like at one point with some of our locals. We did like a 4v4 thing, but no, I'm sorry, it was 4 teams. It was 2v2, and each of us,
Okay.
two of us on a team, each, and we played half of a kill team. So I remember I had like 3 of my Phobos guys. I think my teammate had, what did my teammate have? Like half of his rattlings, I think, on the board. It was very interesting. It was very cool.
That sounds fun. I actually haven't
That was
thought
a
of it
fun
like
way to
that. Where
play
if you
it.
play,
Like if you ever are gonna do
yeah,
like a 2v2, if each player that's on the same team takes half of the kill team, and then you kind of have to do some house rules where you're like, all right, like do you take half of your equipment? Do you take all your equipment? Are you guys sharing CP? Do you get individual CP? These are decisions that you kind of can make on the spot. But because I can't recall how we did it. I think we shared CP um, between the two of us, and but
mm,
maybe we earned extra at the start of the turn. I can't remember, but it was fun either way.
okay, that sounds like a very cool,
Yeah, yeah,
very
it was
fun way
super
to play the
cool,
game.
and I think too, like maybe like that is where like for me, like I did just say that I really only care for the competitive side, which is true, but sometimes with your buddies at the kitchen table, that can be really fun, and I have enjoyed that many times in the past. And it's been a long time though, and I think maybe I gotta get back into trying out some of those more like casual, like narrative things with Kill Team because I think sometimes I do get almost a little too far into the sweat, but I just love it. It's hard not to.
Yeah, it's an addiction. It's a dopamine hit, like you
It
said.
is. And I've expanded now. Once I kind of learned Kill Team, it made it a lot easier to learn other war games. So like I've gotten into Legion, I've gotten into Necromunda. I'm kind of like on the tippy iceberg of going into Middle Earth strategy battle game because I do love Lord of the Rings. And
Mm.
those games, those 3 specifically, all feel very narrative in a way, and definitely less sweaty and than Kill Team is.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We play the ultimate sweatlord game, but
Yeah,
we like it. So
you play that one and then you have fun with the other ones, right? Who knows?
correct.
I don't know. But I don't know. We don't know. We're just the Phobros, and this is episode 17, and this is us signing off. Good night.
Peace out.